You are watching the Michigan Football Report presented by BetQL, the only app I use when I make bets. I'm on a hell of a roll. I think 4 straight winning weekends in the NFL, folks. So go to chatsports.com/MichiganQL. Check out BetQL, sign up for a subscription service, and you will stop losing to your bookie, and you will start beating the sportsbook. All right, get your votes in on this one. Michigan State next Saturday. Will the Wolverines beat the Michigan State Spartans in a matchup of top 10 teams? Maybe the most hyped game in this rivalry in 30 years, 20 years. I mean, it's been a long time since you go October 30th, 2 undefeated teams like this. So will Michigan beat Michigan State? Type Y for yes, type N for no down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Look, I came in the weekend and I just cranked on content to make sure you guys were chocked full of Michigan football videos. He didn't say, where'd that Yoder go? Bye week and he's going to take trips. No. I'm going for my son's birthday on a little trip. No rest of the weary, though, okay? Sacrificing my weekends to make sure I've got videos for you guys. So show some love back. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/MichiganTV. We've got burning questions here on the show, kind of mid-season burning questions, talking about all the things I think that Michigan fans are thinking, are asking, are tweeting at me, or asking all over the internet, and we're going to just answer them here on today's show. So as I go through them, I'm mostly going to give you my answers, but if you guys want to go in and say, like, burning question 1 down in the comments, give me your answer, I will support you guys doing that. So burning question number 1, is this a legit top 10 team? I don't know yet, right? I can say that. I don't know yet because I don't think they played an opponent that I would say validates their current ranking of number 6 in the country. But if you beat Michigan State, you are, right? And I think if you beat Michigan State, as long as you don't falter against one of these other teams, Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, I think you can probably lose Penn State and Ohio State and still end the year as a top 10 team. So there's so much at play here with this Michigan State game. You want to stomp out the momentum that Mel Tucker has built this year with this undefeated team. You want to prove that Kenneth Walker and their running game that's he's the leading rusher in the country for a reason, but after transferring over from Wake Forest, is it just he's feasting on worse opponents? We'll see, right? Mike McDonald's a big-time defensive coordinator, it seems at least so far through 6 games. So can he put an end to this rushing palooza for Michigan State? Michigan State's got a great recruiting class, right? They're 1 spot behind Michigan in the top 25 recruiting classes for 2022. Michigan's the 16th class right now. Michigan State, 17th class. And you might say, well, they're taking players that Michigan isn't recruiting, but they're still getting, majority of 5 or so of the top 10 players in the state right now. And so if they beat Michigan, they've got a lot more momentum than the Wolverines do right now coming out of this game. So if they beat them, it changes a lot. But I do think if Michigan does win, that it validates them that they are actually a top 10 team. BetQL is our presenting sponsor, folks. Go to chatsports.com/MichiganQL to use their app. I actually looked at my time on my iPhone a couple days ago, and outside of Twitter and YouTube, I spend more time on BetQL than any other app. And why is that? Because I like to win money and not lose, and BetQL has got me on a roll. 4 straight winning weekends. They're telling me what NFL games, what college football games are 5-star games, sometimes 4-star games. And there's a few I was going to make bets, and it's like, wow, BetQL's got the other team winning, and almost every time I change a bet because of them or just don't make a bet, they have been right. Get 25% off. Make bets with data and with confidence. BetQL, chatsports.com/MichiganQL. 25% off using promo code ChatMichigan. All that information down in the comments and description of this video. Burning question number 2. Can Cade McNamara beat Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State? I think he can, right? At least the first 2. I'm going to hold judgment on Ohio State to see what they do over the next few weeks because they have, they've got a lot of momentum. People are really hyping Ohio State up after, beating the crap out of Rutgers and Akron the week before that, and Maryland, right? Well, what does that prove? They played 1 competent opponent this year for the most part, and that was Oregon. Oregon came in and beat them. So Cade McNamara has reminded me of Michigan quarterbacks from the 90s. Elvis Grbac, Todd Collins, hell, even Tom Brady. They don't make spectacular plays, but they're not throwing 3-interception games, 4-interception games, fumbling the ball all the time. Michigan's had a lot of that bad play over the past decade, right? Devin Gardner and Tate Forcier, and certainly, a few other quarterbacks. Stephen 3, I know you watch the show, Stephen, sorry, but he is a quarterback more like that. Or Craig Krenzel at Ohio State in 2002, right? He doesn't make the mistakes. He doesn't lose you games, but he probably won't win you a ton of games. So you've got to make sure your running game or your special teams or your defense is actually winning you the game. So I think he can win one of those games on the road. And hell, if he beats Ohio State this year, he becomes an instant Michigan legend. I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets it done, but I do think it'll be tough for him to win more than one of those final 3 games against top 10 opponents. 2 of 3 would be amazing, right? If Michigan wins 2 out of 3 versus Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, most likely you're looking at an 11-1 regular season, all right? When's the last time that happened for this program? 2006? Right? I don't know if I'm missing a game in here, right? You've had a couple 2-loss seasons there, but an 11-1 regular season. And the last time was the 2006 game where they came in and started 11-0 and then lost to Ohio State in the season finale. But 2016, they lost to Iowa, so ended up with 2 losses in the regular season. 2018, they lost the opener to Notre Dame, came in ranked in the top 4, but then lost to Ohio State. It's those Ohio State losses that always add that extra loss to Michigan at the end of the year. Michigan struggled in bowl games under Jim Harbaugh with 4 straight losses after winning his first one. So if Cade does it, if he wins 2 of the 3, that's amazing. If he wins all 3, folks, or if he loses one of the first 2 and then beats Ohio State, instantly becomes a legend for this program. Josh Gattis has been a big conversation on this show for 3 straight seasons, and I think there's some serious questioning if he will return in 2022. There's a report out there a week or so ago from Rivals.com that Gattis has relinquished in some ways his recruiting duties, although I did see he was back out on the road during the bye week visiting some guys, watching their high school games. But you don't pull recruiting from assistant coach or offensive coordinator's duties unless either he's not coming back next year or he's really struggling in some way and he can't have any distractions. So I don't know the answer, but I know Michigan's offense is playing okay, right? If they score 38 points a game the rest of the year, these final 6 games, that's basically what they get every game, let's say, I bet they go 5-1 or better. You probably have to score more than that to beat Ohio State unless you have a defensive performance of a lifetime from Mike McDonald's crew. But they're running the ball. They're putting up decent total offensive numbers. But this really should be Josh Gattis' last season, right? The experiment of speed and space was not one that was successful. Michigan changed their philosophy this year to be a ground and pound, throw the ball as little as any team in the Power 5 so far this year. And you don't need Josh Gattis for that. Pep Hamilton was doing just fine with that. Tim Drevno could accomplish that. So I don't think Josh Gattis fits what Jim Harbaugh needs to do. And if you look at his offense hasn't really produced much, and he had to change and go away what he brought. And the position he coaches, the wide receivers, well, that's the worst position on this team as far as production, as far as explosive plays, as far as depth, right? You've had multiple guys leave the program that were impactful players, right? Think about Xavier Worthy. He's turned into a star down in Texas, the true freshman, right? He came in, left. Maybe it wasn't Gass's fault, but nevertheless, he's no longer with this program. What's his name? Forgetting the receiver's name at Washington. Giles Jackson was there for 2 years, was a starter, and he left. And you've got a couple injuries this year. Don't expect Roman Wilson against Northwestern. I think he'll sit out one more week and play against Michigan State. Ronnie Bell's being out. But overall, Michigan's passing game, their wide receivers has been the worst position on this team this season. And I think if you were objectively ranking all the positions on the team in the 3 years Gattis has been here, wide receiver has been overall the worst position on the team. Their coach, Josh Gattis, I think you're seeing what I'm putting together here. I don't think he will be back in 2022. Michigan's going to put a quarterback behind center, under center in 2022, or behind center in a shotgun format. And that's a big question for a lot of people because I've seen a lot of chatter out there this bye week about who will be the starting quarterback next year. Will both guys return? If Cade McNamara goes 11-1 this year, could Michigan really bench him? And would JJ McCarthy sit a second year? Would he sit a third year, 2023? I'm not really sure. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I hope JJ McCarthy, who's had an okay start to his season, 9-14, 178, 2 very, very pretty touchdown passes, both to Dalen Baldwin. Will he sit another year next year? I don't know. He's been so much invested into this program, committed May of his sophomore year in high school, stuck through a 2-4 season last year, and has got enough play, and he seems to be a leader of his classmates there in the freshman class. Taking Andrell Anthony and Diamond Edwards out to practice after return home from road games. So I don't know. We'll see if he sticks around for another year. If Cade McNamara wins against Ohio State or wins against Penn State and Michigan State, goes 11-1, I think it's going to be tough to pull the reins back from him next year, because he'll transfer, right? Why would, if he's an 11-1 quarterback of a top 8, top 7, top 10 team, why would he then go and sit the rest of his college career? He'd go seek elsewhere because his livelihood's at stake. He thinks he could go down, if he leads Michigan to 11-1 season, he probably believes he could go to the NFL and at least make some money, generational money, a couple $1,000,000, at least being a backup for a few years. So I doubt both these guys will be on the roster next year. But let me know who you think should start next year at quarterback. Home opener next year. Should it be JJ McCarthy? Should it be Cade McNamara? I'd like to hear what you guys think. I don't want to give my answer yet because I just don't know, right? I don't have a great answer for you guys, so I'm going to get the consensus from what you guys think out there. So Cade, JJ, let's count the votes. Let's see what you guys think down in the comments. And while you're down there in the comments, in the description, scroll past, see that link in either the comments or description, chatsports.com/MichiganMGM. If you watch our videos, you've seen this offer. BetQL is letting you have an entire year of their subscription, $180 value for free, as long as you get going with their partnership with BetMGM, chatsports.com/MichiganMGM. You must use that link or they don't know how to track you. And they'll email you once you sign up with BetMGM, make a $10 deposit, and make your first bet. Once that bet settles, you'll get an email from BetQL with your information on how to get a free year subscription. You'll start betting on games and actually winning those games instead of just giving all your money to your sportsbook or to your bookie. Make sure your sportsbook is BetMGM with that promo there, chatsports.com/MichiganMGM. Next question, I think it's our last one on the show. It is, Aidan Hutchinson is Michigan's best defensive lineman since... Whew, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I just jotted down some names here as we got ready for the show. You got Taco Charlton, had some great play. Your 2016-15 seasons. Frank Clark before him. Rashan Gary, Chase Winovich, the 2016-17-18 seasons. Maybe the best defensive end combo in the country in 2018. How about Kwity Paye, right? He was a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, but was very underutilized, under successful is that even a word at his time at Michigan. Nevertheless, Josh Uche, some people call him a linebacker, but I think he put his hand down in the dirt a lot at Michigan. Could be considered a defensive lineman, but I had to go back at least for one season to Brandon Graham, 2009 season, for a guy who I think at least through the halfway point had as good of a season as Chase Winovich, as Aidan Hutchinson has for Michigan. And with 6 games left to go this year and a potential Big Ten title game, potential bowl game or playoff, I think Chase, I said it again, I think Aidan Hutchinson has a chance to be the best defensive end ever for this program, at least in the modern era. Let's just call it the last 30, 40 years. Having a heck of a year with 5.5 sacks at the midway point. Clearly he cares. That video of him and Jim Harbaugh like screaming at each other after the win in Nebraska was pretty awesome. And he's a lot of people's National Defensive Player of the Year at the halfway mark. So if he finishes that, National Defensive Player of the Year, top 5 pick in the NFL draft, leads Michigan to a couple wins on the road at Michigan State, Penn State, and he beats Ohio State, you might have a chance that he could be up there with Charles Woodson and some other players as among the best defenders ever for this program and the best defensive lineman ever to wear the winged helmet. So I'm excited to see if he can do it. Gets another 6 sacks. I don't think it should be much of an argument as long as Michigan ends up with maybe 2 or 3 of those 3 wins in those big 3 games remaining. But before you guys leave today, please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/MichiganTV. We're putting out videos almost every single day. I got in the office. I spent my entire weekend last weekend cranking out content for you guys leading into this Northwestern game before I went on a little trip. I'll have some content after the game. I'll be back before the game on Sunday versus Northwestern, so make sure you stick with us. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you get a video every time we publish it. You know about it, and you can dive there and watch it and get in the comments. Until I see you guys next time, go Blue.